Hello, so today we're going to be talking about cognitive development in infancy and toddlerhood. First, we're going to be addressing what cognitive development is, and then Piaget's theory, along with sensory motor stage and a cultural influence on cognitive development. So, cognitive development is how children think and explore to figure out things in their surrounding environment and society. It's the development of knowledge, skills, and problem solving, and it helps and allows children to think about the world around them and then understand what they're interacting with. Jean Piaget is a Swiss psychologist, and he has a theory that states that cognitive development occurs in stages. It also says that children obtain knowledge as they learn. They don't only just acquire knowledge, but they also develop a mental model of their surroundings and their environment. And they learn as they interact with the world. So, teachers use this theory to understand how they should deliver information to different students by age and developmental stage. It also helps them understand how to deliver curriculum information effectively to students that have missed milestones or may be behind and in a different stage. So, a few concepts that are important to Piaget are schemes, adaptation, assimilation, accommodation, and organization. Schemes are cognitive patterns or organized ways to make sense of the surrounding world. These schemes can be updated as children understand more and interact with society, and the more information that they understand, they can then update their schemes, and that is called adaptation. Assimilation allows children to incorporate new information into existing schemes, while accommodation explains the ability to adapt their knowledge to new information in the world. And the ability to link schemes to other schemes and create an interconnected cognitive system would be organization. So the four stages of Piaget's theory would be the sensory motor stage, and that occurs between birth and the age of 2 years. The pre-operational stage occurs between the age of 2 and 7 years. The concrete operational stage occurs between 7 and 11 years of age, and formal operational stage occurs from age 12 up. We'll be focusing on the sensory motor stage because that is the stage that occurs during infancy, which is the first 2 years of life. So during this stage, children are learning about the environment around them, and they do this through senses and motor activity. As you can see in the image, there are multiple different substages represented here. So there are 6 substages to the sensory motor stage. So there's a reflective schemes, which occurs between birth and 1 month. And then there's the primary circular reactions, and this is between 1 to 4 months. This is when they engage in behaviors that satisfy the way their bodies feel. An example would be they may turn to respond to sounds and sights around them. And then there's the secondary circular reaction, and that's between 4 and 8 months. This is when they repeat familiar behaviors and that have interesting effects to them. These behaviors become more intentional as this substage occurs. There's then the coordination of the secondary circular reaction, and this is when they form goal-directed and driven behaviors. Next would be the tertiary circular reactions, and this is between 12 and 18 months of age. Children begin to try new behaviors rather than repeating old actions, and they do this in order to get new results so they can learn from their actions, and each action has a purpose. They are not accidental. The last substage of the sensory motor stage would be mental representation, my bad, and that occurs between 18 months and 2 years of age. This is when children begin to deliberately and carefully choose actions, and they rely on mental abstractions to solve problems and can use words to communicate during this time. We're now going to move into a cultural impact. that we see with cognitive development, and the one that I'm focusing on will be poverty. The definition of poverty is a state of being extremely poor, and the poverty line is the threshold or limit that is the minimum level of income that is needed to live an adequate life and get the necessities in our country. So, as you can see here from the graphic, poverty is seen in double the amount of Black and Hispanic families in our country compared to white and Asian families, and approximately 1/8 of all of the U.S. students and children live in poverty. So poverty can create more stress and malnutrition, which also causes stress on the child. This likely shows a decline in intelligence when testing when children get to grade levels, and due to malnutrition and stress at home, which can cause a lack of sleep, there will be a lack of concentration in the classroom, which can not benefit the child. There also may be a lack of learning materials that will be needed in the classroom or materials at home to expand on learning and knowledge. They also show a greater amygdala activity, which is the gray mass in the brainstem, and they also complete less schooling once they get to adulthood, meaning they wouldn't go to colleges and they may go to a trade school or no after school at all. And this would mean they secure lower skilled jobs as an adult, which creates the system of poverty that we see in our country. That is all I have. So, thank you for listening to my presentation.